coming up on Legends.
Because after retirement, many of us, they don't have anything to do. What they know best to do is preach. It is a lonely situation because sometimes you can sit throughout the day or two without hearing, receiving any call.
Welcome to another episode of The Legends. Today we are in Joro at the home of Reverend Simon Githinji, who has done a lot of work in various departments and parishes and presbyteries in the PCA. So welcome, and let us listen to Reverend Simon Githinji as you introduce yourself and say hi to the viewers, and we continue the program.
My name is Reverend Simon Drango Githinji, and I love the Lord as my personal Savior. I am a retired minister, having served in the Presbyterian Church of East Africa in various parishes, about 6 of them. And I retired in 2011.
And just for some introduction, we need to let the viewers know that Reverend Githinji lost his wife Nanjara, who was a very good preacher and a good evangelist in the church in the year 2017. So as we discussed with the Reverend Simon Githinji, he's not just a retired minister, he is also a widower, and we'll continue from there. So, and Reverend Githinji, I know for many years you have been the chairman of the Ministers' Children's Fund, the children of those ministers that have died, and you have been an advocate about their support and all. Can you tell us more about that fund?
I have been a secretary. The late Reverend Kagume was the chairman, and I was the secretary. This fund was started in 1990, where the ministers decided at Kanamai, Mombasa, that time has come now to help themselves. This was after one of our colleagues died, and his family was left without any home. And it was difficult for the wife to educate the children, but the ministers with whom they were schooling in the college sat together. They decided that they take that matter by themselves, and they decided that they should be contributing something every month. That's how it started in Mombasa. It is not only those ministers who are in the same college with the Reverend Kamali who contributed. Even the other ministers and all ministers of the Presbyterian, they said together they are going to join the same group so that they can help their deceased ministers' children. And it is still growing even up to today. So
how does the fund work?
The fund is literally, it was meant only to educate the late ministers' children. And the late ministers' children, none is left behind. From after the death of their parent, the fund educates those children throughout their education period, whether in primary school, secondary school, and even in university. That's how it is. And they have educated very many children. Yes. It is not something that the Presbyterian Church itself as a church is contributing. From the first time they were contributed, the PCA were giving us about 300,000. But as we grew up, they withdrew. And the matter was left with the ministers to take up their challenges.
The reason I'm bringing that issue and the discussion is because that is a program that has succeeded quite well in the church. We're dealing with the retired ministers, and we have some ministers who may not have been adequately prepared for retirement. Do you think that kind of a program can be replicated to cater for retired ministers?
If the church can organize this one from the word go, the ministers will get something to eat.
Okay.
Because after retirement, many of us, they don't have anything to do. What they know best, what they know best to do is to preach. And you can't come and start preaching from in your villages and everywhere.
Yes.
But if the presbyteries, the entire church opens that forum, I think it will be. But the question will be, who will be contributing for their upkeep so that this fund can come? We as ministers, we are contributing to the Ministers' Children's Fund because it is affecting us. Who do you think the active ministers, will they be able to contribute? The question is that one, unless it is raised in the national fraternal, and then they find ways and the means at least to be put into the budget of the church. If that one is done, well and good.
But even those that started contributing for the children of the ministers are the ministers who are alive, not for their own children. Some did not know they would head there. So even those that may contribute for the retired ministers, we are all heading there.
Well, I agree with you. If there will not be any dispute that they are taking care of us, if they can do as you are saying, then the fund will be quite okay. But again, if the ministers, the retired ministers also, if they are told to contribute, even themselves, sometimes maybe very little that they can get. Some, they don't have any income, others are sick, and they will feel receive. But if the national ministers, all ministers of the Presbyterian, if they agree in a fraternal, I think that fund will be quite okay. But it will need somebody who can take that matter to the fraternal.
Okay. So how was your preparation for retirement?
Well,
so that when you eventually retire, you would be comfortable and not really having problems.
You see, I haven't won any retirement, but I'm comfortable. Because retirement is not like death, where sometimes we hear people, they say, we did not expect such a kind of death. Yes, death you cannot expect, but retirement you expect. So someone individually has to sit down and then decide what kind of retirement. You choose your retirement. You don't retire like any other person. You retire your own retirement, knowing that you have got to be prepared in all areas. Medically, you must have what we call medical cover. You clear all the loans that you have, because as you go to retirement, if you go with the loans, then you'll not be able to manage it. So I don't myself, what I have done, when I came, I decided that I should have something to do. You must plan. Now my plan, when I planned to come, I had to know what have I planned to be when I come over here. I decided to come and become a farmer. And that's what I have been doing all those years. Over now 12 years, I have been a farmer. And I dug my borehole where I sell water. I have a tractor where I cultivate for other farmers. I have got my greenhouses over here where sometimes I grow tomatoes. And a few cattle.
You seem to be quite comfortable and very busy
busy.
Farming.
I am.
And you are still actively in some way engaged in the work of ministry. How do you manage those two?
It is you who is going to manage yourself. Don't let somebody else manage you. But retirement, you need even the cooperation of your family, the other members of your family, that they will be helping you here and there, and the workers that you have.
Now, you are a retired minister, and as we say again, sorry, you lost your wife some 5 years ago. How has life been?
It is tough. my wife is not there. She was a great help to me in the ministry and then to the entire church. But all in all, like Paul, if you feel like remaining like without getting married once again, you remain. It's your decision. If you want to marry, you remarry. I decide not to. The life is not easy, but it is easy when we cooperate. And usually we are cooperating with I'm cooperating with my children.
Okay.
Yes.
So do your children live around here?
No, my children, they don't live here. I only live with the workers.
Okay.
My daughter is in Nairobi, in media services, and my son is in Britain, British Army, and that's all. Well, those are my children. I had another daughter who passed on after their mother. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's sad. So, as a retired minister, and I know retired ministers, some of them are confined in their homes and some not as engaged as you are. Would you recommend that the church looks into ways and means of forming a fraternal of retired ministers?
It is very necessary because each one of us lives alone. We don't meet as how we used to meet with other ministers. Even if we are attached to presbyteries, we don't remain the same constantly together because we are not active. Unless when there is a fraternal for presbytery ministers, we don't have anybody else. So if the church can decide to give us a national fraternal for retired ministers, which should be organized by the GA office, then we would be very happy. So because we can meet together and then see how and check on how each one of us is faring. Some of us, they are not doing anything and they feel lonely. It is a lonely situation because sometimes you can sit throughout the day or two without hearing, receiving any call. But if you are motivated that to be told we still have time to live, I think it is very necessary. I would advocate for that one.
And I'm willing to bet there are some ministers that you worked together with and you have not seen them since their retirement.
Oh, very many, very many. I have very many. I haven't seen them. I don't know how they are living. We don't call one another. And you see, in retirement, usually we are advised when you retire, please go back to your old colleagues, look from your schoolmates. Some of us, we may not be having schoolmates who are still alive. Those people are the people that you can work together.
Viewers, we are going to take a short break and continue with this conversation after the break. Thank you.
Coming up after the break.
There is an ongoing debate about raising the retirement age of ministers. Would you recommend a raise in retirement age?
No.
Welcome back to the conversation. Now, Reverend Githinji, before you retired, you were a minister in Nairobi North Presbytery, and now you are settled in Joro. We were in a discussion with another minister at some point, and the minister brought to our awareness the issue of the conflicting issues of social integration, integrating yourself to the local community as a minister and being accepted by the local community. How did you adjust to the local community in Joro?
Well, before I went all around to other parishes, I used to be here at Joro as a parish minister.
Okay.
So I know many people, and the many people know me. They know me, I know them. And therefore, I would have no problem in socializing with them.
Okay.
However, as to the church in accordance to our church rules, where you retire, you remain over there unless you want to transfer your retirement to your home presbytery.
Okay.
Myself, I decided not to transfer. I decided to remain to Nairobi North Presbytery, not only myself, but even many others, simply because I thought if I come over here to the presbytery, I used to be in Erbagon Presbytery, it is no more. It was subdivided and Joro was formed. I don't know anybody in Joro Presbytery. So I would be, you know, I would not a non-starter. I would be a stranger to the Joro members, Joro Presbytery members. And so I decided that I remain where people, I know people in Nairobi. I'm very comfortable. I usually attend all meetings whenever called to, and I feel comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, but the local people, I do whatever they are doing. Whenever if they have weddings, if they have got funerals, whatever they have, even graduation of children, I'm sometimes called. The minister here, I am the minister, the Joro Parish minister. When I'm here, I am his flock.
Okay.
And therefore he comes and he gives me Holy Communion.
Yes.
Yes.
But the local community still looks at you as a minister, not as a neighbor.
When you retire, you don't cease to be a minister.
Yeah, I know.
Even to themselves, they know that you don't cease to be a minister. And a minister is a minister of the gospel. They can call you whenever they have got functions. So you tell them that there is rules and regulations to follow if they are Presbyterians. If they are not Presbyterians, you get a clash. And then work with them.
Now in Nairobi North Presbytery, you are attached to Kasarani Parish.
Yes.
What would you say about the involvement or the caretaking of the Nairobi North Presbytery and Kasarani Parish over you?
Nairobi Presbytery have been taking care of me all those years since I came to retirement. They have never failed to visit me. They come here nearly twice a year or thrice. They come to visit me and they pray with me and my family.
We have heard from some retired ministers the issue of them not being engaged by the ministers are in charge of the parishes where they are attached. So do you feel that they engage you enough at Kasarani West?
Nairobi North Presbytery engages me very much.
Okay.
Because not only the Kasarani West Parish, which I would say it does engage me, but in Nairobi North Presbytery you can be engaged in every, it is a must that you must preach in all parishes.
Oh, okay.
Usually the parishes, we have got what we call benchmark. And the parish ministers, they have got to invite you through the benchmark. If they don't, their marks will be lower.
There is an ongoing debate about raising the retirement age of ministers, because we have judges and professors who go up to 70 plus, and ministers are still being engaged, some actively even after retirement. Would you recommend a raise in retirement age?
No. No.
You're very blunt. No.
No.
Okay.
Captain, when you attain retirement age, just go home. If they raise, let it not be mandatory.
Okay.
Maybe on contract. Whoever wants to go ahead.
Okay.
But I wouldn't tell somebody to go ahead. He is aging. He should go and then know how to handle his home when he is capable. But he has lived all the other years without the family. Now it is time for him to go and be with his family. You don't have to go when you are so old. In retirement, you come to organize yourself. You know you are in the last journey of this world. You come, decide to be with your children, talk to them where you messed with them, made, so that you don't die somebody aggressively with your family.
Yes.
And even where you can be able to put your records straight, because you got to put your records straight, even write a will.
Now that I'm talking to somebody who has been very involved, again going back to the minister's children father, there has also been this issue of when a minister loses a member of their nuclear family. I have seen in the social media or in the WhatsApp group contributions to support one of us whenever they lose a loved one. At times you see very good contribution from many ministers. There are other times you see that there is very few ministers that have contributed. How do you think this should be handled so that we don't see this issue of some getting more and others not getting a lot of support? You
see, Paul says, when you are minding about your own, mind even about other people's.
Okay.
And therefore, it is very necessary if any minister has challenges, if he has lost his nuclear family, we should all help one another.
Yes.
We even help the society around us, and they are not ministers. Why not the ministers with whom we work together? So I would advocate that we have a system where each and every minister can be able to accommodate his friend. I mean in a way that every month there is a certain amount to be contributed.
Going into something else, the ministry has joys and concerns. In your journey of ministry, what do you feel, and maybe in what parish do you feel was your greatest achievement that you're so proud of having accomplished, and what are maybe the concerns that you may have in the journey of ministry?
I would say wherever I have ever gone, I have left some marks in every parish, 6 of them. And there are some parishes which have grown, like Kasarani, Kasarani. Kasarani has grown where we were able to subdivide into 3. But before we subdivided, we had worked to buy a land for Mweki, PCA Mweki, 7 acres, where now they are building a mega church in a 1 acre. A church full is covering 1 acre.
1 acre, okay.
And it is a very big one. And we were able to buy that one by a single congregation called Mweki, not the parish. Women there, I organized them to buy some land they have bought from Kamulu, and they are happy.
Okay.
I have enjoyed the ministry. One, you can't enjoy this ministry without the support of your spouse. Yes. Nobody will. No, you cannot win. Check. Every minister, if he has got something to do with his family, he cannot be able to organize those people in the ministry. Okay. But I have done so. My wife was so supportive.
I know.
And she was even known more than myself.
I know.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Although the Lord now took her to go and minister once again in heaven.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
Now, is there that one thing, I don't know, maybe in whichever parish that you feel, I wish I did or accomplished this? That one thing you would have wanted to accomplish and you feel you never accomplished?
In Ikiabu, we had some law for the youth.
Okay.
And the youth, we wanted to organize them to a position that they can be able to sustain themselves in life. But it didn't work. You know, once you leave the place, another one comes. It doesn't build on you. Yeah. But that is the area that I feel even today that the youth need to be supported so much. Okay. Either in church or in the country. But we started from the church where I am.
many times you come across somebody who says, oh, I remember Reverend Githinji, he baptized me, confirmed me, he officiated over my wedding, he stood with us when we lost my mother, or so, you know, such a kind of story. Do you ever receive these members, do they ever call you to tell you the things they talk about there? Oh, Reverend Githinji, when we lost our dad, you stood with us, we're so grateful, or come back to you for appreciation?
This is a no and a yes. A no, because if you can stay here for the whole day or 1 year without receiving a call from such a person. A yes is when you meet in a funeral or at a wedding.
Okay.
He or she will come and tell you, you know, you baptized me. And that is the time when we get to know the people we baptized during our in whatever time. So they don't call unless you meet at a place, but none follows you after that one.
Yeah, the reason why I raised that, viewers, is because we also as viewers need to take up our challenge and remember the people who stood with us when we were going through challenges, the ministers who supported us and prayed with us. They also need that appreciation. So thank you, Reverend Githinji, for your time, for welcoming us to your home, and for being a good role model to us in ministry, and also challenging us how to prepare for retirement. So thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next week on Legends.
In retirement, if you just wake up and sit there and watch TV, be prepared to go to heaven very soon. Be prepared.